Hey, everybody, and welcome to those in the land of coding. We are here at Caribbean Coding Academy for a podcast session, and we have, my name is Carlos Gittens, and we have here with us,
Quintel Charles.
Jayden Simpson.
Daniel Trill.
and today we'll be discussing why should you learn to code. Now, in order for us to discuss this one with Jayden, Daniel, and Quintel, we are going to dive into their experiences. So they have graduated about to graduate from TAMCC, and they are here at the Caribbean Coding Academy doing an internship, and they have an experience in coding with coding as well. So they are facing it both pre, during, and post their education. And I'm sure everybody would be excited to hear what their experiences were like. So I'll start with the personal experience. So we'll start with Danielle. What was your personal experience when it comes to coding? Like, where did you start? Start here.
The first thing I ever coded was Hello World on Pascal, which is basically beginners for everyone, I would think so. That was in secondary school during Form 4.
Yeah, Form 4.
That was my first introduction to the world of coding and the world of typing out and making things happen in a different aspect. And then I further went on with Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio Form, Python, C
C
Sharp,
Sharp.
all of those different types of coding languages. And to be honest, it has been a great experience. It has taught me to do many different things and things that can make my life way easier. Recently, I created a task manager with the React app, and so far I've been utilizing it a lot to put down tasks, making sure I don't forget anything. So my experience with coding has been great. It has made life much easier. It makes life more sweet to me. I would-
Yeah,
So,
crazy.
and I see it as a way of revenue too, because people do want things coded, and much of them don't really know how to do it, or they're not willing to learn for themselves, and that's where I come in with my expertise, and it can be passive income as well, along with whatever you else want to do. So yes, coding has been a very positive experience to me, and I'm very grateful for it.
So, Jaden,
Well, like Daniel, I think all of us started with Pascal,
Yeah,
and I think
mainly.
when we started, Pascal is basically a legacy language,
Yeah,
so we don't
it is.
use it again.
No.
So in Form 5, I was like, why are we using
Pascal.
Pascal,
Yeah.
right? So while learning Pascal for SBs and stuff, I was learning Python on the side. I love Python. Python is a very easy language to get into, but it's also powerful. So it's like, okay, I'll do the Pascal for the SBA, but on my own, on my free time, I'll do the Python. So after SBA, we went into after Form 5, right? We did CXC and then we went into TAMCC. So, and then we got introduced to C++, Java, and we started using Visual Basic and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I really love IT. I'm starting to get, in love with IT. We did other courses. We got to talk to teachers who are in the industry. So we got further information saying, hey, do I really want to do this? Do I want to take this path in IT? Do I want to generate this type of money and stuff like that? So I was like, yeah, I really in love with the course. I really in love with the career. So that's basically my views. That is my thoughts.
Quintel.
Just to expand on what my colleague said, all of us started coding in Pascal.
You guys are mentioning something I'm not sure now.
Or
Did you go to the same secondary school?
No.
Daniel and I went to the same secondary school.
Okay.
Pascal was the general intro
True,
language.
No,
Yeah.
I know that part, but the way you were talking before, it seemed like you went to the same secondary
Daniel and
school.
I went to the same secondary school.
Okay.
But yeah, we all started with Pascal, and after a while, I got bored because as I already had finished the SBA within like a few weeks,
Yeah.
so I got bored and I decided, you know what? Why am I doing Pascal right now? There are so many better languages I could learn. So I sat down, even during COVID. Because COVID was a big thing for me because I actually got to sit down and learn everything I wanted to learn. I sat there and I was like, why am I learning Pascal? I'm gonna go learn something else. I learned C++, I learned Java, I learned even Python. In 6 to 8 months, I learned all of these languages. I was like, IT seemed really fun. So after CXC, I contemplated, okay, do I go straight from secondary school to university or do I go to college? I came to TAMCC and I did IT. And in my tenure at TAMCC, I fell deeper and deeper in love with IT to the point where I'm now here at the academy and I've had the opportunity to learn things like React, and using React for the time that I've used it so far, it is incredibly powerful. Some of the things that I've been able to do in React, some of the things that I've been able to even create in React are absolutely amazing. So coding for me is has become like a large part of my life at this point. So it's like coding is basically second nature to me. I see most things in like code.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a large part of me at this point.
So one of the things, a lot of secondary school students, they don't go beyond the SBA, and that's one. I guess being forced inside it during COVID would actually
Yeah.
help you to
Yeah.
Yeah.
to go beyond the SBA as well. But I think that if you go beyond the SBA, it would actually help you with like understanding
Yeah,
the
in the
coding
long
world a
run,
lot more and so
yeah.
on. Yeah. So what I want you guys to tell me now about is your experience at TAMCC. So, like, did it make a difference? Did it help? Was it terrible? What was it like? I start with Quintel, yeah.
In TAMCC, doing IT, as Jayden said, we had teachers. Well, we were lucky enough to have teachers within the ICT industry that were deep in the ICT industry. As a matter of fact, whether it be hardware or software, so we could genuinely go to them when we had an issue and ask them about it. Not just that, but also the coding aspect. Most of, if not all of our IT teachers know at least some level of coding to a degree. So anytime we would have a problem, we could go to them and ask them about it. An example of that would be Keyshawn Francis, or a JavaScript teacher, right?
Yeah.
He taught us JavaScript, but we before coming to TAMCC, we kind of had a basic understanding of what JavaScript was and how to really type like small things in Java. He taught us how to use GUIs in Java, how to code different buttons, how to code different panels and stuff like that. And we would genuinely sit there in class, invested at times in just coding. Because I think I could speak for all of us here. We just like code. Honestly, we just like code.
Jin?
Back to what Quintel was saying, we love code, and I think it's a place where we could take our imaginations and convert it into reality. Because I had this thought about making a virtual assistant, right? And then I was like, hey Quintel, what about why do you think about this idea? And it's like, yeah, that's amazing
Yeah,
idea.
and then
We actually took the idea and converted it into something physical where you could talk to the computer and computer talk back to us. So I think coding is a place where you can take your ideas and then convert it into reality. You want to have a chatbot, you make a chatbot.
You just
wanna-
make one, yeah.
So that is why I really love coding.
Daniel?
Yeah, similar with Jayden, upon entering TAMC and learning what I could have done with coding, it broadened my horizons. I learned that I could do basically anything I wanted, created anything I wanted based on a technological and physical standpoint, because it's all based in coding. Everything you know is based in coding if you really think about it. So it showed me the many ways I could envelop myself within this world and what I could find I most like in creating stuff. So things I've become very fond of is HTML and website creating. I love to create websites because as I see it as a way of promoting and excelling your businesses. So I won't say I want to seek a future in that, but I can see myself helping others with that to promote themselves and
maybe doing it as a passive
as a
Passive
passive
income,
income and to help people better the business, which in turn might better the world. So I basically, with the knowledge I gained from Time to See, it has showed me to look more forward to the future and what I can accomplish within myself and what I can accomplish along with other people.
So two things I'd like to highlight from what you guys said about your time at TAMCC. The first one is that for most persons, when they meet me, I tell them, you know what? Maybe you should go to TAMCC. Like, not because there are opportunities in IT that you don't need to go to TAMCC. Even in coding, you don't necessarily need to. But they have a few aspects that come up. The first one, I think, is one of the most important, is that social aspect.
Yeah.
And I think you guys were fortunate. I'm not so sure the year before and after you were as fortunate as you are to meet other people who actually were interested in coding. And, but even if I deal with other personalities who are not necessarily directly in tune the way I am, it helps me to deal with people. You understand? And That's one of the reasons why I would say go to TAMCC. Another thing is that people they don't necessarily explore the teachers. Like when they go to TAMCC, they sit down in a class, they have the class, and then they leave, and whatever is done in the class is just for the class. It's
And,
just
not
the
and that's
class,
it, and they go
yeah.
no further into
And
it.
that aches every teacher because if you go beyond the class, if you go to any teacher after, and you guys know that, if you go to
Yeah.
any teacher after and you say, hey, you know what, I had this idea, what do you think
They
of
would
it?
be so excited.
They'll be excited because they're like, nobody comes and asks us
Yeah.
questions. You understand what I'm trying to say? So from that aspect, I think it would help a lot of persons who are actually interested. And for that 2 years, it helps you learning how to study. It helps you with understanding the industry a little bit better, and it helps you to like orient yourself a little bit better as well. So I think TAMCC is a very big plus on the country. It's a shame that a lot of people don't necessarily see it that way. And one of the reasons why they don't see it that way is because they don't um, access the benefits
Yeah.
because there are more benefits beyond the classroom. You understand? So I notice you guys don't mention me when you're talking about teachers. but anyway, what is your experience in TAMCC itself, in CCA now that you've gone beyond TAMCC? What's your experience here?
The first part was actually the implementation and like learning of React, because before coming to CCA, I don't think any of us here had an idea of what React was.
Yeah.
None of us had an idea of what React was. So you told us that okay, when coming to CCA, we would need to learn like, React. So we genuinely made a group chat or like a study group just for React. So we would like go through different projects, go through different code just to understand how React works, even how to create a React app in the first place, which is a somewhat complicated process if you're doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, currently in CCA so far we've learned not just React but just genuinely how working environments within the IT industry kind of operate, and just the social aspect as well. Social, again, people think that coming into IT is going to be this like antisocial thing where you
Yeah.
would just stay in one room for yourself or stay in a place for yourself and just code. No, it's the complete opposite. You
I
would
think,
have to
yeah.
interact with people.
I think that's the biggest problem.
Me personally, I think like IT, you have to react with more people when you do IT, based on like that. That's just personal experience, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jayden, you were telling me before about your experience as being more introverted and less introverted now as a result of like studying IT. So tell me more about that. Yes.
So I was one of those people that thought IT was a introverted career, and getting into it, I was like, okay, it's quite the opposite. I might have a problem with a code where I don't know how to debug it. I have to go to a person and say, hey, do you know how to debug this? Do you understand this programming language, first of all? After you said, okay, I understand it, I have to go into the code and explain and see why I'm making this project and what the problem is and what the code is supposed to do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it pushed me to be, more talkative,
Active around
and
people.
more active, yeah, more interactive, right? So to people who think IT is a introverted course,
It's not.
It's not. You have
It's
to
the complete
communicate.
opposite.
You have to talk. You have to explain and stuff like
You
that.
have to,
So
in the basic sense, as the expand on what Jayden said, is
Yeah.
you have to just learn how to communicate. IT will teach you how to communicate on
Right.
so many levels with such different people from different walks of life. It's funny.
So, Daniel, do you have anything to add to that? Basically summed up.
I mean, like, so basically, like, so yes, so yes. Upon entering CCA, I started to stray from a more fun-looking standpoint of IT to the more business aspect of it.
Understandable.
As I said, ways I can help businesses and more intertwine myself with this world of technology, and how I can boost other industries to convert to this more technological standpoint. So upon entering here, of course I still consider it fun because I'm not gonna do something I don't
Don't
enjoy.
deem fun, yeah.
Like website making, I just said website making. I enjoy making websites. So obviously, if someone comes to me with the prospect of building a website, of course I would be looking at the business aspect of it, the monetary value and so on. But I would also look at, will I actually enjoy
Enjoy doing it.
creating it?
Yeah.
Will I derive pleasure from helping someone else along with bettering myself in a standpoint? And I deem that as Yes, so this basically, as I said, coming into IT also broaden my horizons, make me feel like I'm doing something much better and much more. And CCA has basically expanded that times 200 times infinity.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I think it is interesting that you guys don't mention the games.
Yeah, I was about to say that
Yeah.
because coming to the CCA, it like help us to network
Work,
with people.
yeah,
Yeah.
with a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Because we have you.
Mhm.
We did
The,
the
virtual assistant.
AI,
Right?
right? I didn't know I could have used UiPath to basically do some of those functions,
Yeah.
and only after coming, you was like, hey, what you're doing, you can actually speed up the process and make it more
I
accurate.
think it was
Yeah.
also him
Yeah.
that told
So
us to
on.
like implement a lot of different things
Yeah.
into it when we were building it. And we was like, huh, that actually makes sense.
And yeah, and even with game development, we were not so comfortable
Well, with game
yeah.
development, I mean, we did it for
Like
final projects
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but we were never into it until coming to CC, and then we realized how
This is really
so
cool.
many parts are broken down, and it's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So for us to conclude, I'm gonna ask, what advice would you give to somebody who is about to like maybe enter college, like TAMCC or like some other
some
area
form of
study?
tertiary education. Daniel, you want to go first? Or?
Well, I will start with
You're-
Jayden.
Yeah, so
Let's start with Jayden.
To answer that question, I'll say ask questions
Mhm.
because I think a lot of people would go into the course and not, know exactly what they want to do in the end. So
Yeah.
they'll just join and be like, hey, I don't know what to do in time to see. Let me just pick IT. Sounds like the easiest course. You sound very introverted, but it's honestly not. So I'll say ask questions, ask parents, ask friends, ask teachers, ask them what do you know. Hey, what exactly would I be doing? And if it's something you want to do, go ahead.
So I would say something similar to Jayden, but if you're entering tertiary education, make sure you do something that you enjoy. Make sure you do something that you see yourself going further with in the future and that you may create a business venture with it. But most importantly, make sure you enjoy that and you have
make
fun
sure
with
you
it.
enjoy it.
So as with IT, and IT is a very broad thing.
Incredibly.
So specify it. Do you like website creating? Do you like graphic designing? Do you like creating AIs as Jaden does? So as I said, make sure you find something that you enjoy doing, something you can build a future with, something that in the next 20 years you could be like, oh, I don't regret making this decision, or oh, I would, yeah, like you don't think you should have done something else, and you stuck with whatever you like doing. Because currently, I do think that I made the right decision, and I bet my colleagues agree with me.
Yeah. Just to expand on what both of my colleagues said, both Jin and Daniel. Just do something that you enjoy. If you come into TAMCC and you genuinely don't know what to do, if you choose in IT, make sure you know which part of IT you want to get into. Because in the IT industry, especially in TAMCC, there is literally a teacher for almost every aspect. Whether you want to build databases, whether you want to build websites, whether you just want to code in general, network, graph, everything. There's a teacher, there's mainly a teacher for everything. So if you come into TAMCC and you want to do IT, just make sure that one, you enjoy what you're going to do, and you make sure that you understand and you can actually see yourself doing it in the future instead of giving up halfway, which a lot of people actually do when doing IT, which just infuriate me sometimes. But just make sure that you enjoy what you're doing, honestly, because nobody wants to do something that they don't enjoy.
Interestingly, I would be a little contrarian to your perspectives, and I would say maybe enjoyment is not the first and foremost. Maybe just wanting to experience different things and going full force in it and dedicating yourself to finish it. Because
Maybe
if
the
you
feeling is a big
yeah,
part.
because if you focus on your feeling, then anything could affect your feeling. But if
Yeah.
you dedicate yourself and
Yeah.
you say, you know what, I'm gonna finish this no matter what, you might be surprised to see some of the positive experiences that you have. Because I've had persons who have studied IT and I suggested maybe a career path or something for them, and they said, you know what, I don't think I'd want that. And they end up going contrary to themselves and trying it anyway, and they end up enjoying it. So you don't always know immediately when you start
Yeah.
out that you would enjoy something, but if you start something, finish
Finish
it.
it,
You
yeah.
understand? Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. Like and subscribe our channel and follow us for more content. Thank you.